This is the dipstick. Definitely a little tricky. There's some stuff going on here. We've got a revolve here. Spinning that around, we're adding threads. We've got finishing the threads. We've got some trimming to do, some finish work, and then we've got this thin extrude feature. So let's get started. Front plane sketch. Now my overall height of this cap is 0.25, so I'm going to put that in first. And I know that I can go here, down to there. I'm going to make sure these guys are horizontal. I have overall diameter of this cap at 0.45. And I'm going to add the radius of 0.025 for a fillet right here. And then I'm going to offset this inwards. It's got a thickness of 0.035. And notice this probably won't cause this to fail, but this, when you offset this, it comes to a point right here. The fillet, the radius completely disappears and goes to a point. Sometimes, if you go too far, these will cross and it'll fail, but I think that this will work. Then we're going to complete the profile with these lines here. I think I did that right. It's not filling in. Hopefully that works. We'll find out in a second. Revolve. Okay, good, it did work. Okay, so now we're going to add our offset plane. This surface down here at the bottom, we're going to offset that. The distance, I wonder if that's the same 1.025 up here. And then a sketch on that new plane using this inside edge, convert entities. There's our sketch. I'm going to hide this plane because we're not using it anymore. Helix and spiral. I think this is set from last time I did this. Pitch at 0.075. Revolutions 3. We're going to start that at 0 degrees clockwise. Now, before we go accepting this, this is going to be the start of our helix right here. So we want our profile to be right there. Now, we're going to want to know what plane we're going to do our profile on, and that is the right plane. So remember that for our profile, because that's where we want it to be. Okay, right plane for our profile. I'm going to change our display style to hidden lines visible. And our profile, the construction's a little different than we did before. I'm going to start it over here, and I'm going to make a triangle. And I'm going to select my midpoint here, and here, and I'm going to make this horizontal. This is 0.038. And from this point to this line, 0.028. Now I'm going to add a fillet 0.010 here and here. And it's a little different the way that's constructed than what we did before, because it's not giving us, if you look at detail C, it's putting that original point out here. That's the only way we can know how this is constructed. You can see the point is still there. It's still got a reference going out to it. Now we are going to add one more thing. There's our point we're adding. Drag this over. I'm going to spin my model a little bit. I'm going to pierce that to this. Now we're going to do our swept boss. That's fine. It's sticking up at the top. We're going to trim that in a minute. I'm going to turn our shading back on. Looks good. We're going to trim that. I'm going to hide my helix spiral. And we're going to do the revolve here. Yeah, keep spinning it around. Convert entities. Revolve around this 120 degrees until it goes right into that part right there. Merge result. And fillet. Let me see. 010. I think that this is what works. It might be the other way. There we go. Sometimes zeros are important. It's 0, 1. Okay. Got that. Let's trim this guy off. We can just go back to our front plane. And I'm just going to do a line, something like that. I'm going to make sure it's coincident or collinear, excuse me, that top surface. I'm going to anchor these points so it's defined. And cut through all. Make sure the arrow is facing up because we want to cut this away. Now you have your trim. For the dipstick part coming down, we want to make sure that that sketch, that thin part, not the wide part, but we want to make sure that the thin part is facing us. And we want that in relation to our profile, which is here, if you look at the drawing. So we want the right plane to be where we draw our profile. So sketch on that. Gonna zoom way out. And I'm going to turn on hidden lines visible again. We're going to do a center line from the center of the inside of the cap here. And just drag this down here. Overall length, or height, excuse me, is 5. Solid line we're going to do down 4-ish. And something like that, something like that, and down. Oh, okay. I went to go add 90 degrees and it already had a perpendicular here. So if I didn't have that, I would make that 90 degrees. And we could add another construction line. We want this to be this here. We want that height to be 0.25. But we want to make sure that this is midpoint between these two. It almost looks like it just automatically did that. We're going to see if that works. I think that might work. The distance from the bottom of the cap to here is 4. And we've got a fillet, 0.025 here, here, here. What does it need? What is left? Ooh. What is it? This may take a little bit of problem solving. This is what I thought. Okay, I'm going to add a 45 degree between here and here. That's what I thought. 45 degree there, and that defines the sketch. I have my fillets. I have 1, 2, 3. These are all the same. Now I'm going to extrude. It's going to do extrude thin. Right? If you look at what's going on here, we want midplane and midplane. So we want this one to be 1.5 and our thickness to be 0.025. I think that looks about right. And we want to have this auto fillet corners on there, and the default setting is fine. Turning my shade back on. Okay, that looks right. One more thing to do. You can add a full round fillet, down here on the bottom. Fillet, full round. 1, 2. Okay. That is your finished dipstick. There is no material for this.
To learn more about our program, check us out at fvcc.edu, and for more tips and tricks, subscribe to this channel.